Who is considered the good guy or the bad guy in a conflict usually is a matter of perspective. A person who's wrong but thinks they're right makes them dangerous. Playing a video game traditionally puts you in the good guy's shoes, although there are many instances in games where you reach the end only to have the revelation that you are indeed the bad guy. Resident Evil 7 is an interesting case. It's a game where you're definitely not the bad guy, but when the credits rolled, we're still left with more questions than answers. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Deep Cuts, a show that examines lore, backstories, and theories in video games. Resident Evil 7 starts off simply enough. Ethan Winters, the game's protagonist, has a clear motive: to investigate the Baker Ranch after receiving a message from his believed to be deceased wife, Mia. There's no telling what length a person would go to save a loved one. Ethan, through the course of his journey to rescue his wife, is subjected to all kinds of horrors. What's interesting about Ethan isn't so much about what he's able to endure, but more to do with how he's able to handle every situation. To say Ethan is able to remain cool and collected throughout the course of the game is a bit of an understatement. Able to endure seemingly endless amounts of pain, even having his hand cut off with a chainsaw, and remaining unfazed even when pursued by every manner of creature, Ethan's composure is nothing short of incredible. Even the act of killing his wife, who he's there to rescue, in the opening minutes of the game isn't enough to unnerve Ethan. This has led to a lot of speculation about his past. The only character to really have their backstory fleshed out is Mia, while Ethan's is extremely vague. And it almost seems like players are encouraged to question Ethan, as the game goes out of its way to never show you Ethan's face, only adding to the shroud of mystery surrounding this character. Throughout the course of the game, players will learn that, in addition to his resilience and nerves of steel, that Ethan is a man of many skills, seemingly proficient in many different types of firearms, as well as a keen ability to mix different types of chemicals to concoct anything from healing items, burner fuel, to psychostimulants. Certainly a unique set of abilities. Perhaps Ethan possessing these skills is just for the sake of gameplay, and an argument could be made that not showing Ethan's face and his strangely calm demeanor is a decision in game design, with his character supposed to act as kind of a palette for the players to project themselves into. But a discovery in a previous Resident Evil game adds another layer of complexity to Ethan's identity. In Resident Evil 5, there's a notebook that can be found and read that was written by none other than Oswell E. Spencer, one of the founders of Umbrella Pharmaceuticals and one of the main behind-the-scenes villains in the Resident Evil series. The notebook details a list of level 9 and level 10 Umbrella employees who have access to company secrets. Oswell E. Spencer himself is listed as level 10. On the next page is a list of level 9 employees, and at the bottom of that page, a now familiar name has gotten people's attention: Ethan W. Now the real question is Resident Evil 7's Ethan Winters and the deceased Ethan W. from Umbrella the same person? Although it says Ethan W. is deceased, history has shown that saying someone is dead in the Resident Evil series usually means nothing, especially if they have ties to Umbrella. So let's work with the assumption that Ethan is actually a high-ranking member of Umbrella. It would actually explain many things. His calm and collected nature in the face of BOWs, or bioorganic weapons. Seeing as how Umbrella was in the business of BOWs, this just makes sense. His proficiency in firearms. While there's no direct correlation here, I would argue that a high-ranking member of Umbrella is more likely to have a bit of weapons training compared to your average Joe. His ability to utilize and mix chemicals makes a ton of sense, given that the bulk of Umbrella was comprised of scientists and researchers. The possibility that Ethan worked for Umbrella even puts his relationship with Mia into question. In the game, we learn that Mia was actually a researcher for a syndicate called the Connections, and she was tasked with transporting E001, or Evelyn, to their Central American research facility, which obviously didn't go according to plan. The Connections is a criminal organization that deals in bioorganic weapons as well, so Mia herself has a shady history. The whole purpose of her transferring Evelyn to Central America was to keep her hidden and protect her from rival companies, which, given the circumstances, puts into question the authenticity of Ethan and Mia's relationship. Could Ethan be using Mia just to get closer to the Connections and their E-type BOWs? Or Could they genuinely love each other, and bioorganic weapons research is just simply a thing they share in common, something that they bond over? For me, I'm certainly not convinced that there isn't more to Ethan than what Resident Evil 7 is leading on. Even in the final moments of the game when Blue Umbrella comes to his rescue, his choice of words make it sound like this isn't his first rodeo.
I'm Redfield. I'm glad we found you.
The fuck took you guys so long?
I'm sure we haven't seen the last of Ethan W. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Deep Cuts. Let me know what you thought about it, and if you liked it, please hit that like button because it really does help my channel a lot. And while you're here, maybe binge watch some of my other Deep Cut videos if you like this one. Thanks again.